Okay, we are live. Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing today? How about we go around the circle here? How about you? Let's start with you, Christy. How are you?
I'm doing awesome, James. Thanks so much for having us on. I'm coming off this solstice weekend. Had a really great, just easy kind of celebratory, relaxing, low key kind of weekend. So just grateful to be here and share this good energy with y'all.
And would you like to tell people what this panel is about and what you're
Oh,
doing?
sure. Yeah, so we're here. Thank you, James, for having us to talk about our annual Appalachia Starseed Reunion. It's a summer gathering. This will be our fourth year doing it. And each year is a little bit different. And so it's kind of evolved over the different iterations each year. And we're super excited about the specialness of this year. And some of our content creators are here joining us today to tell you about, what they'll be offering, what draws them to the Starseed Reunion. I look forward to sharing a little bit more about why we do it, what our mission is, and what we aim to accomplish with the gathering, and just all the work that the team has kind of really put in with great intention, and the things that we've done behind the scenes to make it really unique and a special experience for everyone that's drawn to join us this summer. So yeah, we're just super grateful to be here to be able to share that with your audience. I feel like your audience is part of our people, our tribe, and excited to kind of explore how secret space program and super soldiers and star seeds are related, and what your all's thoughts are on that. And so looking forward to a good talk today.
Well, thank you, Christy.
Yeah.
So, Christy is a mental health professional. She worked in that field for over 25 years. So she's been called to create this high vibe community. She has been a fan of disclosure and of the contactee conferences since she became activated in 2017. So she described her mission as a rewrite of the old false matrix programs and aims to do this by co-creating transformational disclosure gatherings, such as this Starseed Reunion at Old Fort, North Carolina. So that is outside of Asheville. I think it's, what is that, near Black Mountain?
Mm-hmm.
So if you were flying in, maybe fly into Charlotte or to Asheville if you were coming in from out of state. Okay, so I need to put your YouTube channel on there, but yeah, we're going to get to that. So we also have Randi here today. Randi Janelle channels an interdimensional being named Verla. A voice for the new earth and the evolution of consciousness. Randi hosts monthly channeled workshops on a variety of topics, as well as channeling gatherings, so you have an opportunity to channel your expanded guidance. She facilitates Earth Heart Healing, a community of online and in-person seekers committed to growth, exploration, and service. This includes morning meditations, breath work, brain-enhancing exercises, book studies, yoga, and other movement practices, including shamanic journey and more. So I gotta put your YouTube channel there. But Randi, you're also a student of Northwest School of the Arts, and I
how did you know that?
It's on your Facebook. I'm not a weird stalker, but I am also.
Oh, that's great. This is all public information.
I'm alumni of the Northwest School of the Arts. So
oh yeah.
I wish you were there when I was there, but I don't want to tell you.
Big 30-year anniversary this summer. Did you know about that? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry to geek out a little bit on high school.
It's like a magnet school for artistic gifted children, and so anyway, it's a long story.
The weirdos.
Well, we're all special people here because we're helping raise the consciousness of the planet. So we need to be able to allow ourselves to express ourselves in our own special ways. So thank you, Randi, for coming on here today.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you, James.
All right. Kyle, thank you. How are you doing today, Kyle?
I'm doing good, and I feel honored to be here with y'all, and excited to talk about what we're going to be doing at the Appalachia Starseed Reunion. So it's nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. And Ronnie's got the address in there for you. So thank you, Ronnie, for that. So Kyle is a Soma Breath Master Transformational Coach, a Qigong instructor, a music producer, an ecstatic dance DJ, and an alchemist with over a decade of experience in internal alchemy arts. He is the founder of Soma Alchemy, a Jedi training and Socratic system of holistic healing and transformation for the modern day spiritual seeker, which combines ancient alchemy practices from both Eastern and Western traditions with more modern technology and scientific understanding. So he'll be offering his Jedi training program in these 4 hour long installments at this Starseed reunion, as well as 3 nightly Skywatch breathwork sessions and his ever popular Galactic Dance. So his website is Soma with 2 A's. K. I see. Soma and then alchemy with a K. Okay. Well, we're going to have to put that in there. So how are you? So there, Kyle? Yeah, there you are. Okay. So how are you doing today? And maybe give us a little bit of information more about yourself. Anything else you want to include in that bio?
Sure, yeah. Well, for one, I first joined the Starseed Reunion, I believe it was 4 years ago. Whenever we did the Camp Disclosure down in Georgia was the first time that I met with Christy, and it was an honor to be a part of the music team. I was doing some ecstatic dance, and that was the first time I got connected with this community. And yeah, it was about a couple of years later when we did the Starseed Reunion. Where was that? It was like a retreat center not far from Asheville. That was actually where I met Randi for the first time as well. And I was able to kind of bring a little bit of more of what I do with Soma Alchemy. I brought in some breath work, and it was the first time I helped to co-facilitate the kind of contact protocol. We did a little CE5 meditation where I was kind of thrown in there, not really prepared. I was just supposed to be kind of music background DJ guy, and ended up being the person guiding it. So just kind of went with it, see what would happen, and it was really exciting. And it was a beautiful experience all around, just to connect with so many awesome people. And I was really excited when Christy also asked me to come back this year, this time as a core collaborator. And so this time I am kind of bringing in more of the work that I've been doing with Soma Alchemy. I've been really tuning into the Jedi archetype. And for those who don't know, the Jedi were these supposedly legendary, possibly even factual magician, priest, warriors coming out of ancient Egypt, and possibly also had connection to the Atlantean times. And I feel a really big resonance with that archetype, and have been trying to kind of rebuild a sort of training for the modern day seeker who's looking to kind of connect with that lineage, if you will. And so what we're going to be doing in the Jedi training, I've got 3 components, kind of 3 levels of different training. So somatic, we're going to be doing a lot of yogic warm-ups, qigong exercises to help open up the body, get the channels open and flowing. We're going to then focus on etheric energy, life force building exercises, more qigong breathwork, and some energy circulation to help really build up that etheric life force, the prana, the chi, ki, ka, been called many different things in different traditions. And then the third layer is noetic training. So this is going to be the first time I'm going to be offering this to the public, but we're going to be focusing on getting together to really build up our noetic, our astral awareness, our higher sensory perception. So we'll be practicing seeing auras, telepathy practice, as well as a little bit of astral travel exercises. And so bringing it all together is what I found is like a good foundation for this Jedi training. And yeah, I'll be excited to bring back the ecstatic dance, and I'll be again DJing sort of the Galactic Contact Skywatch at night. So I'm excited to be connected to this community and a part of it.
Wow, thank you, Kyle. So we'll come back to you in just a bit. So let's go over to Reverend Dale Hoffman. How are you doing, Reverend Hoffman?
I'm wide open. Yeah, it took me years before I would use that rev part. I kind of avoided it, and then I I don't know. Basically, they told me it's time to kind of add that, and because my path is definitely not normal. But one of the things I'm very clear that I don't do it alone, though. And there's so much that was whitewashed from especially religious texts, and how, of course, angels, and there's different ways to classify particular, and I'm kind of part of a movement. I've been doing this for over 35 years to kind of bring people back into an awareness of what was removed from their view, basically. So.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that. So let's see here. So your website is daleallenhoffman.com, and we're going to get that put into the description eventually. Hopefully they'll allow me to put all this. Usually they have a restriction. I think it was like 2,500 words. But anyway, point is, you are a world-renowned author, actor, musician, performance artist, and a professional speaker. Dale is an ancient Aramaic wisdom keeper of the mystic and energetic healing, of revealing long suppressed ancient secrets. So, and healing modalities, ancient insight for the present moment. He has published numerous audio and video programs and is the author of the book Echoes of an Ancient Dream, Aramaic Toning on the Path of Light. Wow. Maybe could you tell us a little bit more about your book? What is that about?
The book is about, really, it's really about how sound literally transformed my life. I've been studying ancient texts since I was 7. That was the summer of 1979, only because nobody could answer my questions, and I knew I was being whitewashed. Everything I asked was like a theological answer, some sort of canned memorization of what I ultimately learned was a mistranslated biblical verse or something. But, I was experiencing visitations as a child, and I was having a lot of transdimensional experiences, and like sound and breath was at the core of all of that. Like, as my parents were getting divorced when I was 5-6 years old, I would actually just lay back in the stream behind my house and intone sounds, etc. But when I started getting deeper into Greek and Hebrew and ultimately Aramaic in my teens, back in the 80s or so, 1980s, that's when all of a sudden I realized that the language of Yeshua was based on tonality and sound. And now we have this relationship with this sort of modern Englishized conceptual words on a page, when the actual experience of most of those teachings was something that was very vibrational, very direct at the time. And they weren't meant to be something that was understood intellectually, kind of like gnosis. People say today gnosis means knowledge. It doesn't mean knowledge at all, actually, in the way that we think of it today. The closest word I can come to for what gnosis means in modern English would be actualization. It's not even really an ability. It's peeling the layers back so that we can ultimately see this energetic dance as it truly is, rather than injected with the codes of theology and religion and all this other garbage. We, well-intentioned psychotherapy, psychology, etc. But the book is really about how I got into the energetic experience from a child. And then finally, when I really heard the Aramaic for the first time, my hair went up just even talking about it. And what I try to do is just impart that to others, not just with Aramaic toning and Egyptian and Hebrew and etc., but with paradigm, actually, which is this, I can't explain, so why start? An amazing, one of my dearest friends, I don't want to say invented, but with them, with his legions, brought down this incredible instrument that is very multidimensional. And it's a crazy thing. I'm excited to be at the reunion because, I've been working with Paradigm for 15 years. I still don't really know how to explain it. So you can watch a video of it and it's neat, but it's still not like being in the room with it. And they it's quite an attractor. It's like putting this huge cosmic magnet out there and they show up. So anyway, I'm just honored to be a part of this.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Reverend Dale Hoffman. So could you
can just call me Dale.
Dale, okay, Dale. So Dale, do you have maybe a past life connection with Jesus?
Yes. Yeah, I've got, yes. I don't really talk too much about a lot of it, but it's funny. Like I knew at some point, and everybody here, I mean, everybody that's going to be, we all have that where it's just, you realize you don't really fit in with mass culture and you're fine with it. And then it's just like the way I put it was like, I could tell even at a young age before I started exploring past lives or even interdimensional ideas, I just realized the wheels were greased, so to speak. Like I was like, this stuff's flowing out too easily, that I thought, and people will ask a question and I answer it really thoroughly in depth. And then I got to go home and go, crap, I better go look that one up to make sure I didn't get it. And it was never wrong. It's kind of an odd, but I'm very conscious and aware of the open channel when it happens. And then I'm just kind of gone. And then I show up again when they're done. But yeah.
Well, thank you very much. So we have some great news. Jessica Jones, the cryptid huntress, could actually make it today. So I know we had a little scheduling issue here. How are you doing today, Jessica? Thank you for coming in.
Hey, James. Hey, everybody. Thank y'all so much for having me. I'm sorry I'm late. That is not normal. I had it scheduled. The alarm was set for 4 instead of 2 today. So, but thanks for having me. It's good to see everybody.
Awesome. I think you're getting a little feedback there on your microphone. Maybe try to bring it a little closer, I'm guessing. Okay, so Jessica Jones is a paranormal investigator and remote viewer based in Northwest Georgia. She is an active field researcher and member of the Enigma Research Group, also the Anomalous Studies and Observation Group, and the North Georgia Cryptid Researchers. All are action-oriented research groups which conduct field research associated with all things paranormal, particularly Bigfoot or the Sasquatch. These groups have obtained groundbreaking evidence at several paranormal hotspot hubs in the southeastern United States, comparable to the infamous Skinwalker Ranch. What sets her team apart from other groups is they are all trained in remote viewing. In addition to utilizing remote viewing in the research field, Jessica assists in missing persons cold cases. She also presented her field research at disclosure conferences and has often been interviewed on podcasts and radio shows across the globe, including your own, Jessica. You should put that in your bio. You have your own, the Cryptid Huntress.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You want to tell people about your podcast?
Oh, yeah. I do live shows throughout the week. I have a YouTube channel, and I'm on Rumble. It's called The Cryptid Huntress. You can find me there. And I'm a host at Spaced Out Radio there, too. So on Sundays, I have a show there on Sunday nights. So, yeah, staying busy, talking about Bigfoot and Dogman and stuff. So.
Oh wow, I can imagine. I know I see you coming up on the live stream quite regularly. So we're still getting a little feedback. Is anybody else hearing the feedback from Jessica? Yeah.
Okay. You are? Okay. I'm not sure what to do here. I can log out and come back in, try to fix it.
Yeah.
That'll help. Okay, let me log out. I'll be back.
Okay, so Jessica also offers oracle readings and spiritual guidance and is the owner of War of Woman Goods, a curated collection of unique vintage Southwestern and American Indian inspired goods. So her website is thecryptidhuntress.com. And so she's going to be offering an experiencer lounge as well as leading one of our nightly sky watches. So maybe we'll talk to, she can come back in here. We'll talk to her about possibly going out in the woods and see if we can encounter the Sasquatch. Because Jessica and I, we were in Grafton, Illinois, was last year when the Sasquatch people were out there. And they were, I think Anne's in the chat. Anne was there. Hi, Anne. So yeah, they are making all these was like digital sounds and low vibrational rumbles, and I saw some big black blob thing moving around. It was already pitch black, but there was something moving in those woods. So
well, the Sasquatch have always been kind of drawn to our gatherings and our reunions. We've always had a lot of people that see energy and that feel energy and can communicate with metaphysicals reporting back to us. I don't have that skill set myself that developed, but of course a lot of the speakers and people that attend these gatherings do. And every single gathering we've had lots of, interestingly, Sasquatch and other, I guess they go by other names too sometimes, but these multi-dimensional beings are attracted to our gathering from what I hear. And they even have kind of their own gatherings, especially at the first couple ones. We noticed that the messages we were receiving was they were having their own kind of big family reunions of their own at the same time. So it's like a joint celebration of sorts. And like Dale was saying earlier, we always are doing our best to be as aligned with the metaphysical allies, the benevolent metaphysical allies at all times as much as possible. So I got chills actually when you had said that earlier, Dale. So I just wanted to mention that, like those spiritual chills. That was validity and reinforcement for that. So we're talking about Sasquatch, Jessica.
Yeah, I hope. I don't know. I had to get on my phone today, so I'm broadcasting live from my cell phone right now. So if it's really bad, I can try to get on my computer. Is it okay?
Yeah, I think you should get on your computer. So I'm sorry.
Okay.
A
All
little
right.
bit of inconvenience, but you're
Okay. Well, if my computer was lagging the last time I hopped on, so if not, I'm just gonna have to say goodbye if it doesn't work. So, but I'm gonna try. Okay. So I'll be back. I'll try to be back. All right. But it's good to see you guys. Okay. All right. See y'all.
If we don't see you before, we'll see you.
Oh yeah. So Ronnie, thanks for putting that in there. So if you want to donate to my nonprofit, it's Healing Soul Survivors. So I know, but the money doesn't help out Appalachia. Well, it does because it's helping me out. So it helps me get there. So,
yeah. We're all in it together.
HealingSoulSurvivors.org.
Yeah.
But so I feel like I could go down so many tangents. I want to talk about Tubo, the Sasquatch people, but I guess I'll just focus on, because I know I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So we have another speaker at the Appalachian Starseed Reunion, and that is me. So I am a super soldier, meditation practitioner, researcher, author, and also a producer of the Change on the Horizon documentary. Through my live stream series, Super Soldier Talk, also on YouTube and Rumble, I've helped waken humanity to secret activities of the covert government. So we go into topics such as brainwashing, trauma, MILABs, which stands for military abductions, and covert harassments, which I've had to endure throughout my life as a product of Project Surrogate and the Ultra MK MILAB Super Soldier experimentation programs. My book, Lone Wolf, chronicles these projects, and I've also spent my time perfecting the Neo meditation device, which is a chi energizer, which helps users relax during meditation so they can help integrate themselves. So here's a copy of my book over here. So it's called Lone Wolf. You can get this at Neological Tech. I'll also have some copies that I can sign for you at the event in August 1st to the 4th in Old Fort. So here's my meditation devices. But so I will be sharing a presentation about the Secret Space Program. Been working on this. So I have some more information I want to share about the early aspect of it all, beginning with the 1850s and going into the early 1920s. So I think, Christy, are you only giving me an hour to speak?
90 minutes.
Okay, good. So I will try to give you a 2-hour presentation in 90 minutes. And I will make it interesting enough so you won't even have a chance to fall asleep in my presentation. But if you do need to sleep, you can do that too. So, So Christy, how about this? We go around the table. Maybe we could talk about what we're speaking about, or what do you think? Maybe if we have something new to share this year, any updates?
Yeah, I think that's great. I would love to hear, a little bit more about what you guys each are going to be offering, and also just kind of what you like about the Starseed Reunion, maybe a special thing that stands out to you from Randi and Kyle? You've been there to the past ones. Maybe one of your favorite memories or things that you think is most important about it. And Dale, you know, what you're maybe attracted you to want to, you know, join us. So I'd love to hear that kind of stuff.
Let's start with you, Dale. Do you have anything new to share this year, or what brought you to the Starseed Reunion?
Yeah. So, yeah, but I've been aware of it. Something happened last time that I don't remember, but yeah, but you know, for me, I'm a guy that it's funny like when you mention, you know, fit 2 hours into 90 minutes. It's funny how like when we're like 15 years old and we have to do a book report and they tell us it needs to last 5 minutes, it's like death. It's like somebody putting your head in a vice and lighting your hands on fire. But now it's like, you know, it's like, wow, how do I, because then you have to kind of arc it right so that it kind of looks like you're really ending on point instead of stopping in the middle and getting pulled off with a hook. But what I'll be offering, though, is going to be, although there's plenty I could talk about, like as a child, you know, I grew up in, and I'll probably preface what I'm doing with this. I grew up there in what was called the Satanic Panic in the 80s. And in southern New Jersey, like I was right across the Delaware River from Philadelphia, there was a lot going on. I grew up like right on the edge of the Pine Barrens, the Jersey Devil, the Atlantic City Mafia. They were still finding, like I remember when I was a kid, they found a skeleton suspended from a noose where the rest of the body had fallen down and had been hung by the mob. But all this, I had visitations. I had lots of transdimensional experiences that I didn't talk to a lot of people about them, just really because I didn't know how to. And it all sort of paved the way for me. You know, what I'm going to be offering at the reunion is going to be not a lot of talk, but a lot of toning, how I talk about using the sound of your own voice, just simple sounds, and then start working into some ancient words, even maybe some modern words and phrases, and following your voice to sort of the opening of the Haikla. Yeshua called it the energy body, which of course would be the Ka, you know, from the Egyptian. And that word Chaya, though, the root of Haikla means conscious life energy, sort of an opening of that. And then after a while of opening up with the toning, then we're going to move into paradigm, where everybody will be able to, if they sit down or lay back and go on this pretty incredible journey. And actually, I've known Missy Hill forever. And Missy asked me if I could sort of bring paradigm in while she was doing, I think she's doing the night vision goggles. And I was like, well, of course, you know, it's hard to explain paradigm. Paradigm is the guy that invented it was one of my dearest friends, but he was Bob Moog, the most famous analog synthesizer genius of all time. He was his right-hand man for the last 10 years of his life, and co-invented with him. And there was a certain point where August had gone and seen this Tibetan bowl meditation in Asheville. And he went back to Bob and he's like, you know, I was thinking maybe we could do an analog toning bowl and maybe several of them in one instrument with no samples, no digital, just 100% analog. And Bob's just kind of gives him this card back from the event. And he's like, yeah, that sounds like something you should do, as in, you know, I'm just a little too busy. And then after Bob passed, August started having these downloads of schematics with automatic writing. I've seen his journals of parts of the circuit boards, and it kind of looks like a classic Egyptian obelisk with a Brazilian quartz capstone on top of pyramidion, which all of the great pyramids of the world had, but were ultimately usually stolen and then capped off with something else. But there's this interdimensional, multidimensional, transdimensional, extraterrestrial, outside of time and space experience. And even just hearing the sound of paradigm at first, it felt so incredibly familiar to me. And I can't explain what it's done in my life, like with dream states, with vision, with past life. I wouldn't even say regression, but like awakening. So I'm really excited about being there amongst, I'll just end by saying this. We moved to Asheville over 20 years ago because it was our peeps. These were our people, the people walking around with backpacks. They haven't taken a shower in 2 months. I'm not saying I haven't taken a shower in 2 months, but over the last 20 years, we've watched and it's not people with a lot of money necessarily rich, but greedy people slowly choke the goose that laid the golden egg. And now it's really rare to see people that I know in the street, etc. But what's great about something like the Starseed Reunion is, even though I haven't been to one yet, I know I'm going to see my family. And to me, it means a lot, because right now more than ever, these congregations, these meetings, are really important, if only, and it's much more than this, just to know that we're not alone. And when we come together, that magnet just amplifies a gazillion fold. So I'm really excited about it.
Yay. Yes.
Thank you for sharing that, Dale. So we'll be able to check your presentation out at the Appalachian Starseed Reunion so go here. It's AppalachiaStarseedReunion.com to get your tickets.
And I want to add on about the paradigm instrument, because I've experienced it, and I had the exact same experience. The sound is so strangely familiar and strangely unique, and it's not just a sound, it's a vibration. It's a hum, a vibration that you feel. And there's videos on YouTube if you want to get a little taste of it. Of course, it's not the same as being in person, but yeah, I'm so thrilled to hear. I wasn't sure if you were going to be bringing the instrument and letting us have that experience. That's another.
Oh, absolutely. But I've got the obelisk and everything, and it's there's some videos on my YouTube channel. I'm easy to find on YouTube, but honestly, part of my journey with Paradigm has been not duplicating, but trying to get maybe come back to the heart of some of the visionary experiences I've had, all the way back to being a kid, but including DMT. And I've never been a drug guy. And I tell people there's a huge difference between vision and hallucination. And there's something about Paradigm that gets in there that get the popping of the frontal lobes that I was just sort of led to with it. And it's amazing. It gets me as close as I've ever been to having a real medicine experience without putting something in my mouth, in that sense. So, and especially after the toning where you open, and then it's you're kind of ready to receive. And so I'm looking forward to it, though. It's going to be awesome.
It's a Palladian download from Palladians. Is that right?
Possibly.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of the ones that he mentions the most. I'll put it that way. Which is funny because I had a friend, I haven't talked to him in years, a guy named Gerald J. Marco. I was way back early 1990s living in Florida, working at a collection agency, just trying to make ends meet while I'm doing all my Aramaic stuff on the side. And I meet this guy that I'm like, well, what is it that you do for a living? And he's like, well, I download and channel music from the Pleiades. And I'm like, what? It's it was just in my brain. I had never, and that was it wasn't everywhere like it is now. Now it's, it was just a wild moment. I'll remember that moment forever because there was a recognition in me too. Almost like somebody said, by the way, you've had this door closed your whole life. Let me open it for you. And it was like, whoa, or maybe it was a window. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for that. Christy, check the private chat. I have a question for you. So let's go over to Kyle next. So Kyle, maybe share something that you're going to be talking about at this year's event. Maybe something new that you haven't shared in the past, if you have anything new. Yeah, let's go from there.
Sure. Yeah. Well, last, or I guess 2 years ago, I did a presentation on the breathwork that I teach and how it connects to the Emerald Tablet and the building of etheric life force energy. And this year, I'm actually not really going to give a talk per se, but rather just going to be hosting a few different types of trainings. Like I had mentioned earlier, we're just going to be focusing on these 3 layers of training. So every morning, we're going to be focusing on getting the body warmed up with some qigong and some yoga, some stretching, and then we'll be honing in on some meditation to really build up sort of the lower dantian, as they call it in Taoist inner alchemy. And that's really going to give us a nice base to build up this energy for the rest of the day. The other 2 trainings that we'll be doing, we'll be diving deeper into more breath work using the Soma breath. And the Soma breath, for those who aren't familiar, it looks kind of similar to the Wim Hof method, kind of structurally combining rhythmical breathing and breath retentions. However, with Soma breath, we utilize music as a huge part of what we're doing. So we can see this theme in the Appalachian Starseed Reunion here. There's going to be a lot of music, a lot of breathing, a lot of toning. And I mean, I love it all. So it's going to be, yeah, just as we're seeing in the chat here, producing our own kind of endogenous Soma, our own endogenous psychedelic chemistry and natural means. So the Soma breath is really kind of focused on that. And I'll be also, again, bringing more Qigong into the etheric building of the life force, preparing Qi balls, energy balls, circulating that through various meridians through the body. And then this year, what is really new is we'll be focusing on the noetic training, which I've never done before. And I can't say I'm a master at this by any means, but it's going to be for my own training as well. But I'm just excited to be a part of a group experience and actually like coming together and learning how to really hone in on these higher sensory perception and these type of experiences. So practicing telepathy with others and practicing seeing and reading auras and astral travel. I mean, how often do we have a group of people sitting down to actually practice that? I mean, I know I don't kind of have that on a consistent basis, and that's something that I really am excited for and I'm trying to bring forward. And so I am also a music producer, and what I've been kind of focusing on is what I call Hermetic, neural entrainment. Basically, I've been really deep into the Monroe Institute and their hemisync technology, and they recently came up with, I don't know how recent, but the next phase of that technology was called SAM, which is a spatial, what is it? Can't remember, spatial angular modulation, I believe, or something like that. Basically another way to kind of bring in brainwave entrainment into music. And so I basically, since I've been doing music production ever since I was 15, so over 15 years now, I kind of reverse engineered all of what's going on there and created my own version of it, essentially. And so I've basically been focusing on guided meditation tracks that incorporate this type of neural entrainment, as well as the breath entrainment as well. So when we combine the 2, rhythmical breathing with these brainwave frequencies, we can really drop into a heightened state very quickly. And so when we're all doing it together, breathing at the same time, the same breath, listening to the same frequencies, we can start to build up this collective coherence, making it even easier to access these heightened states and this higher sensory perception. So I'm really excited to test it out and see how it goes, honestly.
Thank you for that, Kyle. Let's go over to Randi over here. And gosh, I got so many things open here. There we go. I'm trying to click on. Okay.
So I talk about how much I love Appalachian Starseed Reunion.
Oh, absolutely. Talk about anything new.
Launch it with some love.
There you go.
Yeah, like Kyle said, I met Kyle 2 years ago. I met Christy. That was my first time. I'm looking forward to meeting you, Dale, and you, James, in person, and all of you who are watching here and deciding to join us. I echo what Christy said, what a couple of us said already, in that family feel. It's enough time. It's enough days. Especially if you can commit to coming for more than an afternoon or more than a day. I highly recommend it because you get to be saturated. You get to be saturated with all of these various modalities and techniques and people and just the passion. We get to get together and then woo! Like there aren't people. Do you guys know what I'm talking about when you talk about your passion and it's a little woo woo and you start to see the glaze? And they're like, cool. And that's cool. You know, our world is not so full of woo-woo people, and we're all different. And I use woo-woo very lovingly. So this is a place where you can have conversation after conversation after conversation, and there's just, you know, wide open, like Dale said, right? Like wide open, you can see it and feel it. So that was spectacular experience for me 2 years ago, and it really did open things up for me, launch things for me. As all good energy work does, bring me straight up to my own personal limitations. It was a transformational experience. So the family vibe, if you guys are looking for more of that, just and kind of casual too, you know, that's what makes it feel family is. And there are tons of people doing tons of things that they're great at, that they're really, you can hear it already. You know, we all have our niches, and so just being able to dabble and for me too, it's not just what I'm offering and what I'm presenting, but it's what I'm taking in. I'm just so excited to take in too, and just allow that to transform me all over again. So yeah, I'm going to be on the channel panel this year, and if any of you know Sammy Vanek, he's hosting. I keep mentioning him because he's just so great. We need to put him in here. Sammy Vanek, he's a very fun and quirky person. I think he's presenting more than just the channel panel as well. But so myself and another channel named Randi. I mean, that, like, meeting another Randi is rare, but meeting another Randi who's a channel is amazing, and we keep finding each other in life. So 2 Randi, not just one, but 2 channel Randis on this channel panel. And then another woman, I forget her name, Christine.
Osha. I'm hoping she'll be able to make it. Yeah, she's.
Okay. If not, the Randis will hold the fort. So I'll be offering a perspective from Verla, who always just has these big picture ideas. And I enjoy Verla's guidance as well, because it's always blows past my ideas of limiting, you know, what I think the world is, and just opens it up. And also brings it back to all of these integrative techniques, like what Kyle's talking about, Dale, what we've all been talking about when we're experiencing this evolution. In fact, I've got my YouTube channel as well, and I just put out an interview called Rapid Evolution, because rapid evolution is what I'm experiencing. I know a lot of us are, you guys watching too. And so how do we integrate? How do we stay really grounded in that as well? So Verla tends to talk a lot about rapid evolution. How do we make it real every day? You know, and I know those of us presenting, we're really getting hang of that. And one of the other things that I'm going to be offering is something called My Healing Body. So I do a lot with work with Mama Earth. I kind of channel Mama Earth in that way as well. So for me, food is like our daily, it's not just our daily bread, it's like our daily mama. You know? So one of those things that I'm super passionate about is just how we work with nutrition, how we're each individually, we all come coded with different preferences in our bodies for food, for nutrition, for life force. So I'll be offering just a mini reading, or you can book a full reading with me, but it's essentially what Mama is asking you to focus your diet and nutrition. A lot of us already are in tune with that, but if you're curious to know, you know, how do we as a planet regenerate? With, if everybody's eating the same superfoods, we can't regenerate, right? Like, so it doesn't matter if you're eating meat or you're vegan or this or that or the other. We're kind of breaking down these you should because he did, or you should because she did. And what are we individually coded? How can we bring forward this regenerative growth, permaculture ideas? You know, if you look in nature as it reclaims what humans have maybe put one mindset into, we have a tract of land, we're going to do monoculture or whatever it is, right? How do we come back with our own diversity? And as we age, our bodies start to tell us we can't eat that anymore, or I'd rather have more of that, or, you know, so it's a kind of a unique thing. And yeah, I do so many other things, but we'll be focusing on that with the channeling of Verla and offering My Healing Body. Oh, and healing sessions in general, like everything everybody said. We can do a lot of shamanic work too. That's some of the earth-based grounding stuff that I do. So Yeah, I'm excited to see my family again.
And tell people about your website.
Oh, there's so much on it. Are you looking at it, James? So it's called The Portal. It's liminalyoga.com/portal. Because for me, it's important to be able to tune in many different modalities, many different ways. And so I offer things that we can do online. I have free meditation that we offer Monday through Friday. People can connect through an online community as well, where we dive a little bit deeper into some of the topics that we touch on in the mornings. If you can't, and if you're not a morning person, I know 8 is kind of early for a lot of my friends, which I don't know, it's not for me. And then I do in-person events in Asheville too. We have twice a month we do shamanic journeying. So I'm also very much encouraging that people go on their own experience, breaking out of the, you should do it this way, you should do it that way. I dabble in a lot of different traditions, and I like to create a platform for you then to go and learn your own truth. So we meet a lot of guides. This Wednesday, we've got a journey coming up, and we're going to meet. It's amazing, guys. There's these huge Pleiadian Māori, from a Māori artist, a New Zealand artist, carved like a mother energy, a father energy, carved from a fallen redwood, and they're Pleiadian guides. And so the idea is that you go into this trance state through the journey. And a shamanic journey session is just using a drum beat. So it puts you into that theta state. You get to go meet these guides. You get to, cultivate a relationship with a whole pantheon of helping spirits. So there's a lot that I offer: in-person yoga, online yoga, breath work. To me, it's so important to keep connecting both in person and online, however we can, which is what we're doing right now. Right? So.
Well, thank you for mentioning that family piece, because I have been surprised. Like I was saying before, I've always been kind of like, this isn't my event. This is the metaphysical's event. In my mind, this is their event, our event, co-created. So I always kind of had this attitude of sit back, watch, and see what happens. And I am super introverted. Like, I am extremely introverted. When I was younger, I would blush, sweat, turn red if anyone looked at me or talked to me. So I'm not the person to be out there on the stage, like out here doing lives, this kind of thing. But I remember how shocked I was on the first event, the first Camp Disclosure, the first time we ever did it. I had to go out, talk in front of the stage and do the intro or whatever. And I wasn't nervous at all. And it was shocking. And it was like in my family living room, in front of my family, just like cutting up. It was that level of relaxation. And that's not, a mistake or a fluke or a one-off. There's a reason. And so, yeah, it just... I'm vibrating right now, getting all chills and talking about it and stuff. But the family part, it's called a reunion because we really do sense that really it's, I feel these starseeds, and maybe we can talk about what that really means to each of us. It can mean different things, but these people that maybe remember, maybe not consciously remember, but on some deep level remember that they came, that they volunteered to come here. I'm reading this book about people who've been 25 people that were interviewed that said they remember that they have volunteered to come here for a mission to help humanity. And when I don't remember that specifically, but when I hear that, I'm like, yeah, I think that's me. I think I'm one of those. And so, forming this network of connections where people can be like, maybe I'm one of these too. And then that's the awakening. And so our theme this year is celebrating the cosmic awakening. And what does that mean? If that's really true, I actually had a moment reading that book where I cried and I was like, I think this might really be true. Like, I think and so having a network of mental professionals where they're like, I'm sure there's, I'm pretty solid in who I am and that doesn't freak me out, but other people might be more freaked out, like, by that, realization. And so having this community, we were chit-chatting about it this weekend and came up with this phrase, like having a safe landing pad for starseeds or for seekers. And so that's kind of what we are. And so thank you for mentioning that family piece. Yeah.
Thank you, Randi. All right. So what I'll be sharing this year is, of course, I have my SSP 101 presentation, but I'm going to have a little information about the Apollo 20 mission. So Apollo 20 was that took place, of course, after we know about Apollo 11, but there were some secretive Apollo missions on the moon. In this one, they found a derelict spacecraft. This craft was about 3 miles long and about 500 feet high. And there was a huge hole the size of the Statue of Liberty. But yeah, there were plants inside, and there was this Mona Lisa being. She was over 2 million years old. So they brought her back to Area 51. So we'll have some information about that.
Wow.
So this year's theme is celebrating cosmic awakening. What does that mean to you, and why is it important? So if I was to answer that question, cosmic awakening. So I think the goal is to put us to a positive timeline. And the way we can do that is to keep yourself in a higher state of vibration, meaning just by staying positive. Now, the plans of the dark side, in order for the plans of the dark side to manifest, it requires the belief system. So if we have, our planet has gone to more than 50% positive. It was in August of 2000 and I think it was 2020 is when that happened. When we went just a little bit more than 50% positive, the plans of the dark side weren't able to manifest. So that's why I know, as a starseed or indigo, a crystal, or could be even a super soldier in these projects, that life has been hard and difficult, especially when you might have been treated as a black sheep of the family. But the whole goal of you deciding to come here was to help raise the planetary consciousness so that we would not have to experience nuclear war, because that's what the other timelines, it was not so good. Or they had a zombie apocalypse. But this timeline, I do believe that we still have some more work to do. But I had one guy come on my show. We were doing some remote viewing together, but it looks like planet Earth will be a full 5D civilization, well, not so, but vibration around 2032. By 2035, Tartaria will be coming back to this planet. By the mid 2050s, it'll take about 5 years to heal everybody on this planet when the med beds come out. But we'll need about 30 years to help rebuild our planet. And at that point, the Galactic Federation will be pulling out of this system, and they will be wanting us to have our own, will become Space Force, Space Alliance in the future. And Space Alliance will be in charge of defending this particular system. So that will be around 2080 is when they're going to start pulling out. And then by 2100, we're going to help liberate other planets through our Space Alliance and rebuild civilizations out there. So yeah, we've got lots of work to do, but it all starts here, right here in the heart. So just stay positive and let's work for a positive time.
Yeah.
All right, Christy, how would you answer this question? Celebrating
Okay. Well, yeah, celebrating cosmic awakening, more and more, it's just inevitable. It's the 100th monkey effect, where it's been for decades, we've been dripping it out there. And now it's just it's almost inevitable that people are going to be, we're not alone. I think the younger generations are already born knowing, it's common sense. We're not alone. But what does that mean? Everything that comes with that. At first, it might be a little shocking to some people if they really were attached to that old belief system. But all the great things that means, okay, so how did they get here? So what energy source did they use? So what about gravitic technology? What about the med beds? All that stuff. And just normalizing, there are actually people out there that know more than us. So guess what? That means we get to learn from them. And what can they teach us? And so a big part of the gathering mission is preparing for that, being ready for that. They're not going to, like you mentioned, the high vibratory state is so important to be able to be in the vicinity to receive that contact, that information, that data. And maybe it's being positive, but also it's identifying where you can't be positive and working that out and figuring that little distorted belief maybe that was picked up or inserted or whatever, so that you can eliminate it so you can get back to your natural high vibe state. So that's a little piece of a big piece really, I guess, of the gathering, is giving opportunity to help people normalize what you might call shadow work or healing, or however you want to frame it. So star seeds, just people that remember their mission to come here to volunteer to help humanity. And celebration, because it's good. It's a good thing. So, and that keeps the vibe high. And that's part of the positive experience, the transformational uplifting experiences, like that sustained high vibe energy is activating and upgrading. And so that's a good reason to come hang with us, I think.
Thank you, Christy.
Sure.
So, Dale, this year's theme is celebrating cosmic awakening. So what does that mean to you, and why do you feel it's important?
You know, for years I've been using a phrase, you know, that I kind of feel like I'm here to help people navigate the cosmic shift. And it's like when I was a teenager and I'm into all this stuff, I had some friends that were into whether it be ETs or transdimensionals, but they were usually just, excuse me, friggin' weirdos. You know, but that was fine. But I was like so much more interested in it. It almost seemed like entertainment to them. I'll put it that way. And I was like, no, like, let's really like look at this. So I ended up being in my late teens, early 20s. It was like I was around these people that knew Mary Baker Eddy and Thomas Troward and Manly P. Hall, and sat at the feet of all these masters of the early 20th century. And I felt like they were like imparting this stuff to me so that I could kind of take it to the next generation. And they're all talking about, like, in the early 90s, like, it's happening, you know, it's starting to amp up. Can't you feel it? There's this awakening happening. And then of course that whole the 2012 thing. And okay, so let's just keep going here, you know? But it's like 40 years ago, or when I was a teenager, talking about stuff like this, there was not really anybody to talk to. It's so obvious now that kids are coming in with it, and it's funny. Like, somebody said, "How can you tell that there's some kind of an awakening happening?" I'm like, because we're talking about it. Because all of a sudden now, look at the tribe is getting bigger, and they've been standing here the whole time. They just didn't realize that they were the tribe. And everybody's just kind of coming alive. Funny, like in ancient Aramaic, there's this misperception about like something like a demon. I can show you what a demon means. Casting out a demon, the phrase Shadei Napek about Magdalene, this is what it means to cast out a demon. It means to take a repressed energy that these, you know, entities are like feeding on, and allow that to awaken, but understand that it's the parts within us that aren't alive, that aren't activated. That's how these, you know, these darker forces are able to, that's what they're attracted to, and that's what they feed on. But we're all coming alive to a point where it's like sand on a drum head, forming all these amazing mandalas and all these like fractalized patterns. Realize that it's all about staying open and staying conscious and keep going. And I think one of the things about the cosmic awakening is understanding that, including when we feel like we want to slam our head against the wall, or that we truly feel alone, or we feel that we're somehow suffering, you know, more than others. That's why I think it's so important for this to come together and everybody to realize, oh, wait a second, I'm not alone in this. And, oh, you did feel for the last 3 years like you were running in a swimming pool full of Jello, and you weren't even sure if you even moved a quarter of an inch in that span of time, but yet spiritually you felt more open and alive than ever. So, you know, to me, that's really what this is all about. And it's vital. It's really vital for people to just come, just show up and see what it's about. If it's not for you, you'll know, but I'm pretty sure that if you're called, that it's for you. So
Wow, thank you for that, Dale. Appreciate it. So let's go over to Kyle. So this year's theme is celebrating cosmic awakening. What does that mean to you, and why is it important?
Sure. Yeah, I just wanted to say amen to that, Dale, and to everything that's been said already. I feel in total alignment with it all. Um, I was actually part of, again, the core collaborators group here with Christy that was trying to come up with the theme for this year, and we had a bunch of different ideas. And for me, I offered Cosmic Awakening because for me, it seems more holistic in the parameters, because we can talk about galactic contact, which is great, and this is what a huge theme, but that kind of leaves out, well, what about the spiritual aspect? What about those non-physical entities? And for me, Cosmic Awakening is a really good phrase because it kind of encompasses it all. It's saying like there's more to this, and this awakening of consciousness is a theme that is definitely now just within even in the mainstream, but at least it's prevalent amongst us. So, and another one of the core collaborators added the celebrating aspect because we have to remember this is fun. This is like feeling good. Like we want to feel good. We're celebrating this. This is like a big moment in humanity. We're on the precipice of something huge, becoming like a galactic species, like that's never been done before on this planet, as far as we know. I mean, um, perhaps in the past, but at least in this, like our epoch that we're in now, it's definitely a new thing. So we're celebrating this moment in time, and I think this phrase "celebrating cosmic awakening" is just like a perfect conglomeration of everything that we are trying to bring to the table here. It kind of covers all the bases, not only the galactic but the spiritual aspects as well, and the returning to Earth. Mother Nature is part of the awakening. So all of this is beautifully summed up in celebrating cosmic awakening. So.
Wow. Thank you, Kyle, for that. So let's go over to Randi here. So this year's theme is celebrating cosmic awakening. What does that mean to you, and why is that important?
Ditto. And well, it's I guess because so much has been said that I agree with and resonate with. I would like to add a little bit on what we've been calling 5D or New Earth, this literal paradigm shift, and cosmic awakening. So I've been really enjoying in the integration practice in my life that it's not. I used to kind of feel or resonate with the world's going to end, and then it's all going to be different. And what I'm realizing now is there's this beautiful co-creation, like this possibility to not only co-create this together, but also co-create with so many different places that all of us are at. And that's with the small tribe, that's with the big tribe, that's with everybody watching and going, yeah. And that's with the people watching being like, So cosmic awakening to me, we've got, from my experience and from what I've connected to, we've got nefarious energies, and we touched on those a little bit too, like those that feed a little bit more on dark energies. And what I'm coming to in my life is realizing they're not bad or good. We're so quick to go, this is bad, this is good. And like Christy pointed out with the shadow work, we embody all of that. We come with that. We live in a dualistic universe. So we could also just say we are yin yang. Doesn't that feel freer? We are yin yang, So what I'm enjoying in my own life is this breaking down of my brain's tendency to want to label and categorize as these aliens are better than those aliens. These people are better than those people. These belief systems are better than those belief systems. And there's still something to having discernment and having preference. And so for me, cosmic awakening is an awakening that the entire cosmos is available to us. And in my experience, it's becoming available because I'm open to the whole swing, the whole pantheon within this paradigm. And so what I'm enjoying is, right. So what I'm enjoying in celebrating my own cosmic awakening is that it gets me out of my own limiting beliefs, and it gets me out of the smallness of waiting on someone to save me, the smallness of waiting on somebody to tell me what it's like, the smallness of waiting on for me to just find the right people, even when I just waxed on about the family. To me, celebrating cosmic awakening is celebrating this holographic reality that I am, that everything in the cosmos is right here, as somebody said, the gateway of the heart. I think that was James, right? And so for me too, it's knowing myself, knowing my heart is the ultimate portal. And yes, it's easier when you're with people who resonate with that philosophy. It's harder to remember that when you're being challenged with those philosophies, and yet here's that spectrum again, which only helps us know more of ourselves, know more of our truth, and to be able to celebrate all truths. Difficult for my linear brain, but easy for my heart, or becoming easier for me to defer to the heart. So. And to like party and dance and move the body and scream and yell and frolic around. I'm just looking forward to frolicking. That's
nice. Will we have a dance floor, Christy?
Well, we have a big open field under the stars, so I think that counts.
Absolutely.
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. So you can get your tickets to the Starseed Reunion at AppalachianStarseedReunion.com. And well, Christy, what do you think? Did we accomplish what we needed to do here today, or do you want to do more questions, or what do you?
No, I think that was great. I do want to mention that we have early bird special for just 2 more weeks. So until July 7th, there's a pretty good discount on the tickets, $108 for the full weekend. I do want to give some acknowledgement and just gratitude to the core collaborators and all the speakers and all the volunteers, because they are all donating. They're all volunteers, 100%. Donating their time, their energy. So we were able to keep the prices even lower than ever before to try and just make that opportunity available for as many people that want to come. There's camping on site. That's just $33 for the whole weekend. There's plenty of vacation rental by owner places if you want to try and group up with folks to do like share a house. We have check out the Facebook event. There's, a group where you can get together with other folks to do that. Send me questions if you have any. I'm always happy to engage and answer questions. And yeah, just, share it with your friends and get a group together and come experience what we're doing over here, because it's pretty unique and special, I think. So yeah, thank you so much, James, for everything that you're doing. I also want to take a minute to give an extra credit to you, because you have worked hard for a long time, doing hard work to get the truth out there and normalize this stuff and be that safe landing pad. And so I know I see you and recognize you and appreciate you with your conference that you're doing in July. That's exciting and huge. I wish I could be there for that. And also want to thank your audience, because, the audience is so important. You have an amazing, group of followers, and because they're out there listening and talking about it and helping us with this mission. They're co-creators as well. And so I'm excited to just be able to be introduced to them and offer, that warm invitation to come out and meet us if you're in the area and feel inspired. And thank you guys for being here and talking about the event and being a part of it. Yeah, that's all I got.
So Christy, is there a food ticket? How do you take her?
Yeah, so we do this in a very unique way. It's been different each year. And what we did last year is what we're going to do again this year. And it's community kitchen. So it's just camping. And so we'll have a group of volunteers setting up kind of a pop-up kitchen. It's real simple food. It's not about the food, but it's high vibe, vegetarian, light. So it's by donation. Bring your produce, or just you can, pay cash. And then, of course, if you're camping, bring any snacks you might like, or light lunches. There's a little town close by. So if you want to go into town for, we give big lunch breaks if you want to do that. And there's a lot of, one thing, if I may, that we didn't talk about is there's a lot of other opportunities for experience, other than we really just have a few speakers, because we really wanted to give a lot of time for the experience. And so there's a lot of optional, like time for one-on-one services, or for being with the land, or for breaking up into small groups to do different things. There'll be folks talking about the local vortexes in the area, there'll be someone doing a group theta healing. There's a stream, there's hiking. So lots of things beyond just the speakers for sure. I can't imagine. I think I've been overwhelmed with the feedback that we've gotten back where people have said that impacted me and changed me and put me on a different trajectory. And that's another thing we, really have always wanted to do from the beginning is, I see all these groups kind of having these lasting friendships and these lasting communities. People like this, like the Journey to Truth guys doing their conference, like the guys in Ohio, Cincinnati, they're doing one, like you're doing one, all these different conferences popping up. I love them all. I think we need the more, the merrier. So, thank you.
Well, thank you for that, Christy. So,
Yeah.
Appalachia Starseed Reunion, if you want to learn more about the event that I'm doing in July, maybe you guys can, I don't know, come to Florida and come to North Carolina. We'll figure it out. So that is timelineofdisclosure.com. The food tickets in July 14th, but you can still come on out. We have a free soul healing fair right next door to the Holiday Inn there at the Indian Rocks Museum. So that's from 12 to 6 p.m. I'm going to have some people that can do readings, and we're also have like some free dance classes and the crystal sound healing bowls. So it should be a really fun thing. So get your tickets to that. Come on up to Appalachia Starseed Reunion in August.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Should we do a quick final word? Again, my website is neologicaltech.com. You can buy a copy of my book. You can also go to healingsoulsurvivors.org to donate. And of course, my timeline of disclosure.com to get yourself a ticket. So, of course, Christy, final words.
Final words, gratitude, love to all y'all out there, for everybody out there, just kind of sharing your story and being on the leading edge. Your heroes, and I appreciate you, and big hug, lots of love.
Dale, final message or websites?
Yeah, well, I'm easy to find. Just Google Dale Aramaic. But I've got something in my mind just to mention that changed my life a long time ago. It's understanding that not only in Aramaic, in Hebrew and Arabic, but even in Latin, the word spirit, what it actually means is breath. It means breath or frequency or vibration. In Aramaic, the word's ruha. And you have an idea like Holy Spirit. I saw a thing in the chat there. Holy Spirit in Yeshua's language, Ruha de Kudsha, what that meant was the all-embracing breath, meaning holy as in holos from the Greek, all-encompassing, full, whole, complete. And like, it's a little bit of homework until I see you all in a few weeks. Just as much as you're able to, be mindful of the rise and fall of your breath. Notice that when you bite the hook on something in your world, that your breath catches. The key is to keep the breath moving, because if your breath keeps moving, then you stay open, then you stay awake. And that's really what's going to foster this awakening. Even the word cosmos, literally, the cosmos in Koine Greek, it means literally the expansion and retraction of time and space, essentially. And that's the same thing. We're talking about Ruha here. I'll see you all in a few weeks. See who can remember about being aware of your breath. And come up and tell me that you remembered.
Thank you for that, Dale. So let's go to Kyle. Any final messages or websites?
I just want to say I love that. I mean, of course, being a breathwork instructor, like that's my life. So keep breathing, connect the breath, create one breath where it's just a circular rhythm continuously, and just smile. And if you want to like simplify a practice, that's just going to get you in tune and high vibe. It's that, just smile and breathe. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Dale. And I'm just excited to being back with the family again and seeing everyone and meeting new faces, and would love to meet y'all. So would love to see you all, buy some tickets. And my website is somaalchemy.com, and that's alchemy with a K. And I'm just super excited to be a part of this.
And Randi, final messages?
Sure. Ditto. Being the last one, it's like, what hasn't been said or shared already? I agree with the breath. I agree with smiling. In fact, I was introduced to something called the bliss technique, which is so simple. you just kind of put your hands up here. I like that when you feel the catch in the breath, with that Dale said. Put your hands out, stick your tongue at the top of the roof of your mouth, smile, and stick your eyes up. Like, I can't do this for more than 5 seconds without bursting out laughing. So it's a nice thing to do when you feel overwhelmed. And just remember, there is this uplifting, worldly, global energy that we can tap into anytime. And it often is right here in the body, with smiling, with that breath. And I'm excited. I'm hosting a retreat in September as well. So just a quick mention of that. It's called Leap Dive. It's an immersion. It's an initiation. I've never heard of anybody do 4 weekends in a row before, but that was my guidance, to do a real sinking in. And so this is in Terra Nova. This is Cedar Mountain. So again, the magic of our North Carolina mountains. A lot with the nature spirits, and a lot to be able to come back to yourself over and over and over again, and use some quantum creation techniques and things like that. So if you like everything you're hearing here, if you go and you enjoy the family time and you want to continue that in September, that's happening the all 4 weekends in September. So again, my website is liminalyoga.com/portal. You can see information there about the retreat, as well as the free morning meditations, all the ways to connect, whether you're local or you're online. We have a lot of ways to keep partying together. So thank you again, James. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Nice. And there's cabins at Terra Nova that you can rent.
Yes.
I think it's like, what, $25 a
So accessible. It's a nonprofit. It's really sweet, sweet land, and the nature spirits there are off the charts. So yeah.
The water might be a little too cold to go swimming. They have a little lake.
I don't know. I'm going to be swimming.
Okay. It's it's a beautiful lake, and they also have like these orbs in the woods at night. My buddy and
I was there last weekend, and I met the dragons of the land, and they came to me in a lucid dream. So in other words, if you're sensitive at all, you're probably going to not only do everything that we do in group together, but you're going to have a whole other learning experience just with the nature spirits in these liminal realms. So they're very excited.
Thank you all very much. Okay. All right. So let's get out there. Okay. Well, we'll all see you in August at Old Fort, North Carolina. Thank you all, for audience members, for listening in. And thank you, of course, our panel here today. So we'll send you all much love and light. And may you all have a wonderful day wherever you may be, or here now or in the future. Appalachian Starseed Reunion. So goodbye, everybody.